Hello and welcome to The Point. As the election approaches its climax, what sort of economy will UPA be handing over to its successor? Has the finance minister met his budget targets, or could they have eluded him? And is the big lesson of UPA 2 the need to accelerate reforms? Those are the key questions that Finance Minister Chidambaram addresses in part 2. But first, has Priyanka Gandhi started to steal her brother's limelight? As she dominates the TV screens and captures the front pages, has Rahul Gandhi been sidelined or minimized? This is a question that not only affects the Congress campaign, but the future of the party itself.
आप जरा उनको भी अच्छी तरह से समझिए किस विचारधारा से उभरा है वो दल, उसकी राजनीति क्या है।
ये भारत देश है, इसे चलाने के लिए 56 इंच के सीने की जरूरत नहीं है, इसे चलाने के लिए दरिया जैसा दिल चाहिए।
तो मेरे मन में ये बात आती है कि आपने तो प्रधानमंत्री बनने की आस रखी हुई है, आस बनाई है, लगाई हुई है, तो इस बचपने में क्यों पढ़ते हैं? इसका नेता कैसा हो?
Priyanka has confined herself to campaigning in Raebareli and Amethi, but she's making an impact far beyond the borders of Uttar Pradesh. Matching Modi and other BJP leaders word for word, taunt for taunt.
किस मोरल स्ट्रेंथ की बिना पर रॉबर्ट वाड्रा ने अपना इतना बड़ा एम्पायर खड़ा किया और किस लार्ज हार्ट के कारण कांग्रेस की सरकारों ने उनके एम्पायर को खड़ा करने में इतना अधिक सहयोग किया।
बौखलाए हुए चूहों की तरह दौड़ रहे हैं। मुझे मालूम था कि चुनाव के 1-2 दिन पहले इनके झूठों का सिलसिला दोहराया जाएगा, इसमें कुछ नया नहीं है।
विक्रम बत्रा को याद करे तो मन कहता है दिल मांगे मोर, और वही विक्रम बत्रा की बात मुझे कहती है कि इस चुनाव में दिल मांगे मोर।
राजनीतिक दल के जो दूसरे नेता हैं, उन्होंने कहा है मेरा दिल मांगे मोर। उन्होंने कहा मांगत 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 थक नहीं रहे। वो मांग रहे हैं आपसे, खूब मांग रहे हैं, लेकिन हम आपसे कह रहे हैं हमें कुछ नहीं चाहिए आपसे, आप सशक्त बनो।
With Priyanka getting more and more aggressive, the Congress vice president is increasingly out of the frame. Many believe Priyanka has moved in rather late, that she could have been the ideal foil much earlier in this campaign. But the Congress obviously believes this strategy works for the party. Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
Is the former editor of The Hindu, Siddharth Varadarajan, the former editor-in-chief of The Times of India, Dilip Padgankar, and Congress spokesperson Randeep Singh Surjewala. Siddharth Varadarajan, ever since she began speaking out, when she first claimed that Narendra Modi was humiliating her family, Priyanka Gandhi has dominated the front pages, she's dominated the television screens. In contrast, Rahul Gandhi seems to have been banished to an inside story. Is Priyanka Gandhi stealing his limelight?
Well, if she is, it's not because she is necessarily a better communicator or a more forceful, orator. It's, I think, the novelty value, a year or 6 months into a campaign where we've seen Rahul Gandhi virtually every day, there's a certain jaded quality to him, to his appearances, to his utterances. So it doesn't surprise me that Priyanka, even though her role is really quite limited, the Congress party has very deliberately deployed her just in these two constituencies, although obviously whatever she says and she's taking on Mr. Modi has a national resonance. But they've deployed her in these two constituencies, and she's made fairly good use of language and has been able to take pretty good pot shots at Mr. Modi and at the BJP in general. But I don't think it's an easy comparison to make, quite frankly, because Rahul Gandhi has shouldered the, such as, so to speak, because the campaign hasn't been a great one, but he's shouldered the burden of that campaign for the past year or so, certainly for the last 3 months. And Priyanka has come in in this very limited capacity. It doesn't surprise me that she would grab eyeballs and column inches.
Dilip Patgankar, in TV studios, they're asking two questions. The first is Priyanka Gandhi a more effective campaigner? The second is, has Congress made a mistake in not giving her a bigger role? Does the mere fact that those two questions are being asked undermine or at least erode Rahul Gandhi's status and stature?
Well, as far as the media impact goes, there is no question in my mind that Priyanka, even in that limited time that she's come to the forefront, has done far better than Rahul has. Though Rahul, as Siddharth Varadarajan correctly says, has been carrying on the burden of the campaign. The other fact is, yes, of course, it's a bit too late. But the point is, and I come back to the earlier question you would ask, she's not only stolen the thunder of Rahul Gandhi, she's stolen the thunder from just about every other political person in this country, including, partially, Narendra Modi himself.
In which case, you're also saying that she's been a phenomenal success in a very limited time.
I would say so. You know, I mean, Karan, look at it this way. She's got so much of oomph. She's gutsy. She's got the kind of charm. She's got the kind of humor. Now, these are traits that you don't really associate with any one of the rivals in let us say, Amethi, let alone with Narendra Modi. When is the last time that any of these people say anything but sound and fury? So, to that extent, I think she's a fresh face. She uses a narrative that appears to be fresh and so on, while the others seem terribly repetitive and jaded. So I think she is, in this limited period, she's made a mark. Now, how far that is going to be successful in terms of votes and seats is another matter altogether.
Absolutely.
Because we all know
let's not get into the realm. Let's not get into the realm of speculating about how far she'll be successful, because that's into the future. But the point at the moment, Randeep Singh Surjewala, is this. Is it not a problem for Congress that you see Rahul Gandhi as Sonia Gandhi's successor, you see him as the next party president, but a lot of the media, a lot of television and a fair amount of public opinion think that his sister Priyanka can do a better job than him? Doesn't that create a problem for you?
Absolutely not, Mr. Thapar. Mrs. Priyanka Gandhi Vadera has chosen her own and defined her own role by restricting it to the constituency of her brother and Congress Vice President, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and mother, Congress President. As far as her roles is concerned, I have never seen, even as an individual, something so complementary, both between the brother and sister and both between the daughter and mother per se, where it is the same commonality of ideology, commonality of strategy, commonality of thought process and commonality of message. So I think there is no contradiction, but there are complementary roles being played by everybody, her in the two constituencies and by Mr. Rahul Gandhi and Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and Prime Minister leading the campaign in the rest of the country.
Well, let me put it like this, Siddharth Varadarajan. Randeep Singh Surjewala, as a good Congress spokesman, is seeing complementarities rather than contradictions. But the other truth is that after his Times Now interview, all the other interviews that Rahul Gandhi has given have actually sunk without trace. In contrast, Priyanka Gandhi's very cleverly delivered sound bites dominate the TV agenda right through the day. And she keeps the BJP far more on the defensive than her brother ever did. Do you get the feeling that she knows how to wound and strike in a much more effective way than her brother Rahul ever can?
You may be comparing apples and oranges, Karan, because an interview, I mean, Rahul Gandhi's first interview was pretty disastrous, and he's been careful not to repeat that. So if he's not hogged the headlines for his interviews, he perhaps feels relieved about that. And I wonder how well Priyanka, for all her skill at repartee, how she would do in an interview with you, for example. I wonder if she would come out in shining colors. But I think that what she has shown is an ability to wound, clearly. And what's interesting and novel in a way is that she has done so by, I mean, she's used mirth and humor, but has also tried to elevate the level of discourse. So when you contrast what she has said and the way she's sort of tried to sound statesman or statesperson-like and to run down Mr. Modi for showing bachpana, for being immature, for being personal. I think that message of hers has wounded. I think it's struck Mr. Modi.
Can I interrupt
perhaps
you?
this sort of thing should have come earlier in the campaign, as Dilip said. Yes.
Can I interrupt you and put this to you? Just listen to the combination of qualities that you've complimented just now. She has the ability to wound and strike. She's used effectively mirth and humor. She's also elevated the level of discourse at the same time. She's done a combination of things in very simple sound bites that haven't lasted for more than perhaps 2 or 3 minutes at a time. That combination and that ability to deliver that combination doesn't seem to exist in Rahul Gandhi. She's got certain speaking skills that are so essential for a politician. He doesn't seem to have them.
Quite right. I mean, I think the brother sister are a picture in contrasting styles. I mean, she clearly has a better connect in smaller meetings, in smaller groups. I'm not sure that Mr. Rahul Gandhi has a good connect in larger groups, but obviously he is probably better in the in-house meetings and planning, etc. But as I said, every election time, Karan, if you go back to 2009 or even 2004, we've been through this speculation. Priyanka is wheeled out for these 2 constituencies, and we all say, well, she looks and sounds better than her brother. Maybe she would be better than him. Maybe the Congress is thinking of a plan B. But at the end of the day, you're looking at a pretty cohesive family and a family political structure that is quite conscious of its inheritance. It's the Congress Party is essentially family property.
At the moment, when the family comes under pressure, we don't know how that cohesion will change. But let me bring in Dilip and put this to you. Talking about family resemblances, which are so critical to the way the Gandhis present themselves to this country, people say Priyanka reminds them of Indira Gandhi. A couple of days ago, when her sandals broke and she determinedly carried on walking barefoot across hot sand, people remarked on her grit and determination. When she stands up to speak, there's not just a sparkle in her eyes, there's clearly a sparkle in her voice. She communicates her own sense of enjoyment behind her speeches. Are those reasons why she reaches out to people in a way Rahul can't? Are those reasons why she scores points where Rahul doesn't?
Well, to put it bluntly, she is what they say a natural. Let's not forget that she's been nursing these 2 constituencies for many years. She is familiar to the people there. And in fact, the way they address her is Hamari Bitiya. And of course, they are all slogans around Bitiya, Priyanka, and so on and so forth. The fact of the matter is she is a natural. Look at the way she relates to people and then contrast it with the kind of disconnect that you have between certain other leaders, or with the kind of speechifying that some other leaders make of exhorting the audience and so on. She is a natural, and I think that is something that is extraordinarily refreshing, apart from the fact that she is, I think, more conscious than her brother is, that you need sound bites and also sound sense. And I think the combination of these 2, I think, makes her streets ahead of many, many other politicians in the country.
Radeep Singh Surjewala, there's a phrase used there by Dilip Podgankar that I consider almost a winning, clinching phrase. She is a natural. No one would accuse Rahul Gandhi of being a natural. He's not a natural communicator. He's not natural at making people feel comfortable. He's not natural at small talk. He's not natural at just communicating to people that he's a leader. In all those capacities, she is a natural. Now, you need a natural at the head of a party. In politics, a natural wins. He's an unnatural trying to do something that doesn't come easily, and he stumbles. That contrast to me suggests she is a winner and he's not.
Mr. Thapar, there are 2 short points I'd like to make here. Firstly, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and including you on your program, have many times said, comes out as a person who's sincere, who's serious about his job, who knows where he wants to take his ideas, and who at times, many people say that he's too ideological oriented. But I don't think so in politics. To be honest, sincere, serious, and be ideologically committed is a bad thing. I think that is what is required. So Mr. Rahul Gandhi has all these traits. Partially I understand they may be inherited, but a lot of what Mr. Rahul Gandhi has is his own belief in creation by years of his own hard work and thought process.
Can I interrupt?
Yeah, okay.
I want to put this to you. You're absolutely right when you say Rahul is sincere. And you're absolutely right when you say he's hardworking. The problem is, sincerity is not enough. Diligence is not enough. That natural spark that reaches out and wins people, that makes them laugh and smile and empathize with you, is what a political leader needs. That's what wins elections. And unfortunately, she has it, he doesn't.
Mr. Thapar, may I also remind you that identical arguments were used by opposition at a point of time vis-a-vis Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, as also vis-a-vis Mr. Rajiv Gandhi when he came into politics. But both of them proved by their serious dedication, by their commitment to their job,
Rajiv had charm.
and by one
Rajiv had
single-minded
dimples and
objective
charm that people loved, and that's what Rahul lacks. Priyanka is her father's daughter. Rahul's not his father's son. Let me put it like this. Siddharth Varadarajan, the media, as you know, loves to speculate. Quite often we do it.
Mr. Thapar, just complete what I was saying.
Go ahead, very quickly.
In a minute.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the second point that I wanted to also make was, in this election more recently, as Mr. Modi and his friends thought that their strategy of polarization was going wrong, they started a belligerent attack on the whole family, including Mrs. Priyanka Gandhi Vadera's family.
This is not about Mr. Modi. This is about Priyanka and possibly Priyanka versus Rahul. Let's stick to that. Mr. Modi has no room in today's show. Siddharth Varadarajan, as you know, the media loves to speculate, and quite often we do it even when there's no real credible basis for doing it. But post May 16, if Congress loses badly, as the polls suggest it's likely to do so, do you see Priyanka playing a bigger and bigger role? Simply because the family will need her, the party will want her, and perhaps she'll feel she needs to step in to help mummy and brother.
There's no doubt in my mind that the Congress will perform badly on May 16th. But there's equally no doubt in my mind that Rahul Gandhi will continue to be the
But
Congress
what about
Vice President
Priyanka playing a bigger role?
No, I don't think so. I think there will be no change in the role that Rahul Gandhi, the role that Sonia has carved out for Rahul Gandhi.
Okay.
And what a major defeat may do, however, is to force him to rethink some of his plans. So I think the room for maneuver he may have within the party may get constrained.
Okay.
But I think there's another important point when it comes to Priyanka. Let's not forget that while she's very good at thrust repartee, and attacking Modi, I thought she mounted a rather poor defense of her husband when Robert Vadra became the target of the BJP's campaign. She chose an emotional form of rebuttal, whereas I felt going into the substance of the allegations, and if there was
it's possible.
to hide,
Let me interrupt you.
Been far better.
It's possible that in fact the substance would have defeated her because the substance may have gone against her, as your own paper showed when you were editor of it.
Well,
and therefore it might have been wiser for her to stick to emotion and try and bind people with her as a good Hindu wife, rather than try and win the point by scoring what would in the end be home goals. Let's leave that aside. Let me put this to you. Congress often says that Priyanka will decide for herself what her role will be. But do you believe that after the response that she's getting, the sort of conversations that are happening in TV studios like this, and the possibility that the party may need her, all of that might actually awaken some ambition in her? And if the family is seen to be on the ropes, then that ambition can be made to seem as if it's actually helping mummy and the brother out as well.
If you look back to Priyanka's statements made in the past few years, she's been saying again and again that I'm not in the political fray. I want to connect with the people. I want to help my brother and my mother in these two constituencies. I don't look beyond these two constituencies, etc., etc. But let's not also forget Congress culture. And the Congress culture is that once the party emerges really with egg on its face, defeat in front of it after May 16th, there will be a hue and cry from Congress workers themselves that they would need Priyanka to play a more active role.
Absolutely.
And I think what will then happen is the equations will change. The equations will change. I think they will find a way, the brother and the sister will find a way where one becomes much more the public face of the party, while the other works laboriously as a backroom person trying to reinvent, rebuild the party. That's the way I look at it.
Let me put it like this, Mr. Surjewala. This is not just a critical election for the Congress party. Many believe it's a critical election for the Gandhi family itself. And a major defeat could see that family virtually on the ropes. At that point, do you think this rebalancing of the roles between brother and sister, with the sister becoming the public face and the brother becoming the clever backroom boy, might be the way the party chooses to recreate itself and rise from defeat? That's what I'm putting to you.
Well, firstly, the last vote is yet to be cast. And we sincerely hope that with the blessings of people of this country, we are going to emerge victorious again. Having said that,
let's take that
Mr. Thapar,
thought as said and done.
You have been a student of political history. You have been a student of political history. Congress lost in 77. Mrs. Indira Gandhi came back, emerged stronger. Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, after one of the biggest mandate, and you were a witness to it, lost 89. He emerged stronger.
But there's
we
a
have
difference.
lost many elections
You're forgetting
in the past,
that Rajiv Gandhi and Indira were different to Rahul. They have qualities people don't see in Rahul. That's the problem. And those very qualities that Indira Gandhi has are visible to many in Priyanka. Hence my question.
May I interrupt and say, your question was, if the party loses, are you going to change your leader? I pointed out to you, Mrs. Indira Gandhi lost, and she came back and emerged victorious. Mr. Rajiv Gandhi lost. Yes. He came back and emerged victorious. It's a different matter that God snatched him away before the last vote was counted.
I'll take your word as the official response of a Congress spokesman. All I'll add is that when Indira Gandhi lost in 77, the party split as well before Indira Gandhi came back and won. Let's hope the party doesn't split this time, but there are many possibilities that could see Priyanka being propelled to the forefront, and one of those was very carefully and cleverly elucidated by Dilip Varadarajan. But clearly this is a subject for the future. We are just doing what the media enjoys doing, speculating and having a little bit of fun. My thanks to all three of my guests for joining me.